Good evening, everybody. My name is Alexis Kramer, and I am a young single African American mother of two beautiful kids. I have a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old. My 6-month-old's name is Abney, and he was born on December 8th. And I have a 2-year-old named Aiden. And basically the reason why I'm recording today is because I am trying to build a podcast to advocate for single mothers who are going through rough times and are being accused of doing things that they never did. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on with me, and feel free to, add me or text me or let me know if you want to be in contact, ask any questions. But anyhow, basically, so short story short is I lost both my kids to child protection back in February of this year. And basically, because I have child protection in the past, and because I was abused in the past growing up, I'm being accused of abusing and neglecting my kids. The reason behind it is because my oldest had a medical problem. And of course, they were accusing me of neglecting him as well because he was not able to eat for the first 2 months. And they were basically blaming it on me, saying that I'm not feeding him enough or not giving enough formula, or I can't do anything right because I'm a single mother. So then comes my so with my oldest, I was fine because I was forced to go to parenting class, and since then I've been going to parenting class until now. So now I have been jobless for the past 2.5 years because I've been a full-time mother. Well, now I had just gave birth not too long ago to my 6-month-old. And for his first 2 months, he wasn't able to eat too. And I noticed the signs between him and Aiden because my oldest was screaming like he was in pain since he was born, and my youngest presented the same symptoms as him. But whenever I would bring it up to a medical professional or take him to a pediatrician or doctors or whatnot, their response would only be, oh, well, does he do this? Does he do that? Does he throw up a lot? No. But I would really appreciate if my concerns were heard. All they cared about was my youngest's weight. Well, that's not even the bad news. So I brought him into 2 hospitals. Well, 3 times. Yeah, 2 different hospitals. So the first 2 times was because he was failing to thrive. And both my kids were born at U of M Masonic Children's, which is in Minneapolis, in Minnesota. And let me tell you, U of M has changed in 2 years. Since those 2 years, I have been discriminated against because of my race and my disability and because of my age. And brought him in again the 3rd time and went to a different hospital. And they did a bunch of tests. All those tests came back negative the first time. So the ER doctor said, okay, well, we'll keep him overnight. Because my youngest has been screaming like he's been in pain since he was born too. Now here's the part that I don't understand. So I had a babysitter on the sideline that has been watching my oldest for the past year now, and built a relationship with him. And at the time, I thought she was my friend because I needed help at the time because I didn't know how to be a parent because I was still learning. Well, now comes my second child comes along, and now all of a sudden, my youngest comes up with a broken ankle. And I am being accused of abusing my kids and neglecting them now. They never investigated the other party. And now guess who has my kids? Yep, you guessed it. The other person who watches my kids. When I went to my first court hearing, I found that they were trying to terminate all my rights. No proof of evidence has been shown since February. And now it's like I feel like I have no rights, even though I have my temporary rights. I'm also being deprived of my human rights. I have no rights to see my kids. I have no rights to go to my kids', medical appointments so I can know what's going on with them. I have no rights to know what is going on with them, and I'm always kept out of the loop. I have a social worker that is claiming that I'm not allowed to have support in my life. And she is failing to protect my children. And my children, so I get supervised visits. And since April, that's when my visits started, my kids have been getting bruises. And I tell you, bruises at every visit. Now let me tell you, and I'm not trying to sound racist, but the other person who has my kids is Caucasian. And I'm sorry, but this seems like this is a white privilege state. Because I don't understand how they can automatically accuse that African American abuses their kids all the time. That is a stereotype. Not every person that gets abused becomes an abuser. But they don't care. African Americans get blamed for everything. We get labeled as angry people. We get labeled as we're always depressed. We get labeled that we're abusers. And that's just it. There's no justice for us. We get nothing. And it's just ridiculous. So if anybody have any questions, feel free to comment on this blog, because I will post it. And I hope you guys have a good night, and I will be back tomorrow or tonight. All right, bye guys. Good night.